what I want to talk about today is setting up a system that will allow you to capture leads in system.io. And not, I don't mean going through creating a funnel and all of that nature, but once you've created the funnel, taking when you capture a lead through your funnel, allowing the system to add it to your Notion databases so that you've got that in front of you as follow-ups and whatever you want to do. Now, some people will just use system.io and go in there every day and check and see if things are being done and so forth, and that's good. I have fallen in love with Notion, so when I boot up my computer in the mornings or if I've just left it on overnight, Notion is basically always open, and I've created kind of a little dashboard. And anytime I get a new lead from I've got different, multiple different sources where I could get leads. Any of those go into a table database in Notion, allowing me to follow up with them and so forth. So, if this is something that would interest you, I'm going to take you through step by step and how to do that. So, the first part of it is going to be making sure System IO is set up with a funnel. Okay. So I'm going to go here and I want to thank Jason Inman. He shared a funnel and I installed that funnel, Daily Cash Flow Secrets. And if you go into here, you see there are 4 pages here. And if I look at the squeeze page by just clicking the little I over here, okay, and I've assigned mine to a custom domain and so forth. When you click on Watch Free Training, it comes up with this form that people can fill out. I've added phone number to it so I can collect their phone number also. But and they fill out this form. Now, once someone fills out the form, I'm going to close this, go back to the system. They automatically become a contact in your database, and you can see I've been just testing this and so forth. The key now is then to get them from here. Okay, so you want them in system because this is where your email drips are going to be and all of that stuff. But to keep involved with them and maybe stay up to date on what's going on, I like putting them in Notion, and I want to just show you what that looks like in Notion. So in Notion here, this is my dashboard, if you want to call it personal dashboard and so forth. I have this database here called Roadmap to Riches To-Dos. Okay, so every time someone goes through that funnel and opts in, it will automatically show up in here. And I'm going to show you how to connect those two and make that happen. So stay tuned. Okay, so this is where we start. We're going to start with the setup on system.io. And it's really pretty much straightforward. You've got to have a funnel in place. Okay, so if you don't have a funnel in place, that would be your first thing. Make sure you get a funnel together, and make sure that that funnel. I'm looking at the one that Jason Inman did. It's amazing, great a funnel for our business and your business. But one of the things that you need in a funnel is to capture leads. That's really the main purpose, especially of the squeeze page or the capture page, is to capture somebody's information so that you can continue to stay in communication with them and build that connection. So once you have got that together, then you can, if I go in here to edit this, you'll see that this button here, if I look at what this button says, is it's, when the button is clicked, it's going to show the pop-up. So if I go up here to pop-ups and I click on the little pop-up number 1 here, I click on the little eyeball, it shows you what that pop-up looks like and what information you're going to collect. And if you've just uploaded the one that Jason did, it won't have phone number in it, but you can certainly add that if you choose to. I'm not going to go through that here in this training, but it's relatively straightforward. So once you've done that, okay, and you've got all of this set up, everything is set up, and you've saved the changes and all, then you can just hit this little get out of here button, exit button, okay, and it's going to take you back here. Okay, that's it. That's the only thing you need to do. And just, you kind of need to make sure that you know if you've got multiple ones, which one you're going to use. If you've only got one, then it's a piece of cake. And in fact, if you're using the free version of System.io, one is all that you can use. So that would make sense. That's all there is to setting up the System.io side of it. Okay, now the next step. And the next step is making sure your Notion is set up. Now, two things that I want to make sure you understand. One is, don't feel bad if when you open up Notion it doesn't look like this. I went through and created this so that I had kind of a dashboard that I could use. And the other is that this is not an extensive or exhaustive training on Notion. I am not the expert on it, at least yet. I've just started using it really about 3 or 4 days ago. So what I do want to show you is how you can have the basics. So let's say that you just opened it up and there's very little there, maybe an inbox or something like this. And these are all the different sections that I have here, but we're going to start from scratch. So I'm going to go up here and you should see something that has like a plus, okay? And I'm going to click plus. And you've got a number of different things. If I just start typing and say empty page, I've created a page. But all of these things down here, and if you click more, all of these items here are what we call databases, meaning that they are a container that can hold multiple pages of information, okay? So I'm going to create a table, okay? And I'm going to call this table road map to riches. I'm just going to call it tracking at this point because I already have one that I use that is called to-do list or task or whatever. But make it something that you can understand what it's going to be, okay? And then I'm just going to hit enter. So when you see this where it says select a data source to continue, I'm going to click this, okay? And I'm just going to click on here the plus sign where it says new database, and that's how I'm going to leave it. Now, this is the table view, okay? So first thing is I've got this column and I've got these different columns. I don't care about the tags, so I'm going to go over here and I'm going to delete this property, okay? This one here, I'm going to rename and call it lead name, okay? Then I'm going to add one, and I'm going to make this second one their email address, okay? And that's going to take care of that. Then I'm going to add another one, because I want to track their phone. And then I'm going to add one more, and I'm going to call this status, okay? Now, on the status, I'm going to change this one here to to do, okay? And I'm gonna change the color. I'm gonna use a blue color, okay? So we have to do, in progress, and done. Maybe let's make this a red, okay? Give it brighten some. Now you can move these around. Let's say I want the phone first. I can make the phone first. I can keep the status, down at the bottom. But that's essentially it. So now I've created my database in the table view. Now you could create other views. It really doesn't matter. I can hit the plus here, and let's say I want a board view. Okay, so it's got these little boards. If you've ever worked with, I'm trying to think of some of the programs out there. One is Airtable has boards and so forth, but I don't really need another view, so I'm just going to delete that view because the only thing I want to do is my table. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my personal dashboard, and I'm going to show you this, but just remember, this is kind of an advanced side of things. So I'm gonna just go down here next to, this is my task manager, things I've got going on. So I'm going to click on the plus sign. Not the 6 dots, but the plus sign. And I'm just going to start scrolling because I want to add something in here. I'm going to scroll down until I get to databases, and I'm going to say table view. And then I'm going to come up here and pick this new one that we just created. Okay. And you'll notice that it is there. Okay. And I'm going to grab the the 6 dots here, and I'm going to move this right up to the top. Okay. So one last thing that I want to do now that I've added this into my dashboard or my first page, and you can create a page and make it your first page and design it from scratch. But I want to set a filter, because what I want to do is I want to filter this, and I only want to look at to-dos and in progress. Okay? Once I click on this and click done, okay, so on this one here, I'm going to click done, you'll notice it goes away. The other thing too is I don't want these extra ones here, right? So I'm going to delete these out, and I'm clicking on the 6 dots. I just click on it and then choose delete. You can also just select it and hit your delete key, however you want. So here I have on the front page of my day, I've got Roadmap to Riches tracking, okay? That's all there is to it. Now you've got everything set up. You're ready to go. The next step is the fun one. We're going to connect System.io to Notion, and every time someone opts in, we're not only going to get them in System.io, but they're going to show up here right on your front page, right in this database, so that you can track them, stay up to date on them. Okay? See you on the next one. Okay, now and I apologize for the squeaky chair. I got to get some WD-40 to put on my office. Now we come to the fun part, right? This is where we connect these two together. You'll see on your screen is, excuse me, you'll see a website called Zapier, however you want to pronounce it. But this is there's a number of them out there. Zapier is probably the one that's been around the longest. They're certainly the most popular. There's one called Make. I think there's a couple other ones. I forget. There was another one someone showed me the other day. But the bottom line is it's a program that allows you to connect other programs, other apps that you may not normally be able to do, right? There may not be a intrinsic integration within the program you're using. So like within the system or within Notation, there may not be a way that you can, within those programs or those apps, connect to System.io or connect from System to Notion and so forth. So Zap and these other types of programs allow you to do that, okay? And Zapier, what they're called are Zaps. Everyone you can. Now, this is free. And you can see under here, I'm on the free plan. On the free plan, you get 5 Zaps. They call them Zaps, right? Each one of these you see here is a Zap. So I've got 4 out of 5. And then 100 steps. So if you had 5 Zaps and each Zap had 20 steps, then you would have 100, right? But you can see here, kind of if you divide this 4 into 21, which I don't know why it's odd like that, but it would be like, I've got 5 steps essentially per, but one I might, have one more or one less or whatever. But so we're going to create a Zap that goes from System.io to Notation. Okay, and you see I've done one here, but I'm not going to use that one. We're going to start one from scratch. Okay, so what we go over here and we say My Zaps, and it brings up your Zaps. Okay, when you first create your account, you're not going to have anything there, so you're going to click on Create and then New Zap. And you're going to want to connect a trigger. And the trigger is, what program are you going to be looking at for something to happen to trigger this off, trigger this Zap off, okay? So we're looking to trigger every time someone opts in to our System.io funnel, right? So I'm going to look for System.io. Well, there it is. So I just started typing sys, and I'm going to click on that. Now, I've already got this connected, but you're going to have to go through it. Okay, so you're going to have to go into here, and it'll say connect, and it'll have you log into System.io, and you say, yes, I authorize it, I okay it, and everything else. Once you do that, You'll be done with that part. And then you're going to choose an event. So I'm going to click here, and I want to choose new opt-in. Maybe you want someone that's completed a campaign you've got going, or a new sale, or a new tag at it. Here's all the different things that Zap will look at. Okay, we're going to do new opt-in, and then we're going to hit continue, and then we're going to say keep on going, and it may or may not come up and say that. It's the first time I've. And then it's going to ask you what funnel. Well, I've only got one funnel, and you may have multiple, but if you do, that's fine. But if you don't, which you probably don't if you have the free System.io, you just click on the one that you want. And then you're going to pick the step. And you'll know, you wait a little bit till it loads them all. And you see that it's the steps that we had. So I'm going to click the squeeze page. And then I'm going to say continue. Now, one of the things that and I forgot to tell you about this, but one of the things is before you get to to Zapier, test your form. So go through and test your form. That way there's something out there. Okay, so when I test the trigger here, it's going to look for me something I've tested. Okay, so here's what I've tested. I can also go into here, and if I've tested it a couple of times, it keeps track of those. So it may come up and give me some options. Like this one here says trigger B pulled a second ago. Okay, so I'm going to grab that one. And here's the information that's there. Okay. So then I'm going to just hit continue. That shows me that, yep, it's working, it's pulling what I need, and so forth. Now it wants to know, what do you want it to do after it triggers on this? Okay. So you've had somebody opt into your System.io funnel. It's kicked off the Zap. What do you want it to do? Okay. So where we want it to go is to Notion. So I'm going to type in NOT. Oh, there's Notion. And I'm going to select Notion. Again, you're going to have to connect with Notion. Now, one of the things you're going to want to do when it comes up, it's going to ask you what pages and databases you want to connect with. I would recommend you just click the button, the check mark by all. If you've got more than one, just have them all. Okay. And the next thing you're going to want to do again is choose an event. Well, we created that task database or tracking database. We want to create an item in there. Okay. So I'm going to create a database item. I'm going to say keep on going. Okay, now I got to choose the database. So I'm going to look here, and you'll notice that it's not there. Now I'm going to show you something here real quick. I'm going to go back up here to app and event. Okay, and I'm going to figure this out for just a second. Hold on, I'm going to pause and come back. Okay, I've backtracked a little bit, but what you're going to want to do is, if you don't see it, I'm going to go back here where it says account, and I'm going to click on these three dots here, and I'm going to say reconnect. Okay, and this is what you'll see when you first connect. For the first time, you'll see it'll go to Notion, and you'll say select pages, and you'll notice the new one is not in there. So I've got to reconnect. I got to connect that one too, and say allow access. Okay. Now that I've done that, now I can continue. Now when I go to choose the database value, here roadmap to riches tracking, the new one that we created is there. Okay. So for lead name, I'm going to click on here, and you'll see where it says contact first. Okay, that's what it's picking up from System.io. So I'm going to click on that. Just click over here to the side. Phone, contact phone number, right? Email, email. I might put something in here that says lead from my system funnel. Okay. Content format, I usually do Markdown, and that's it. Okay. Then I say continue. And now it wants me to test this. And what it's going to do is it's going to take this information right here, and it's going to go through the Zap, make sure it works. So I'm going to test it. You always want to test it if you can. Make sure you don't have any errors. And boom, it says a database item was sent to Notion about 1 second ago. Watch this. I'm going to pull up Notion. And look at this. Patrick, da-da-da-da. Here it is, all right in there automatically. Now, I did this because we tested it. But once we publish this and turn it on, it's going to happen automatically every time it sees that somebody has logged in, has opted into your system.io. And we're going to test that, okay? So I'm going to say now, publish and turn on. Okay. I'm going to go up here where it says Untitled Zap, and I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to type in. And this is just how I name them, just so I know what's going on. And then I'm just going to click this back arrow here. And you'll notice I've got two with system.io. Now, this is my main one. Okay, this is the one I just created for y'all. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to go to the funnel. I'm going to open up the funnel, and I'm going to click on the little eye over here so that I can bring the funnel up. And I'm going to test it. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to say first name is George. George Jungle. George. And I'm going to do 555, 555, 5555. Okay. Oh, this is the email address. Okay. And then I'm going to say click watch free training, and it comes. So I'm going to close this tab out, go over here, make sure I've got the contact here. See if George, Jungle George is there, and George, his phone number, and all that. Now here's where the magic happens. I'm going to go back over here, and lo and behold, look at George is in here now automatically. So I can start now. I can go over here to the to-do, and I can say now it's in progress. Patrick, we've already followed up with Patrick. He's already in. We're ready to go. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to say done. Now watch what happens. He disappears because I've got this filter here that says all I want are the in progress and the to-dos. This will save you so much, especially if you're using Notion and you're using the system. Now you can have them both places. I set my Notion, I'm on a Mac, but I set Notion to when I boot up my computer, restart my computer, it automatically opens up. It's sitting here in front of me, so throughout the day. And I've got Notion set so that it gives me an alert either on my phone or here that says I've got a new update. In fact, you'll see up here it says I've got an update. It mentions you in George, da-da-da-da. It's all that stuff there. Plus, I can then go in there. I can actually go in here, and I can add more data. I can do all kinds of it, right? So this one here is filtered, but I can always go back and take the filter off. Okay, whatever I do here is going to be done on the front too. But I could create another view, and on this view, I can call it table and say all tasks. Okay, and under all tasks, I'm not going to have, see, it gives me everybody. Okay, let's get rid of it here. So I've got this table, and I'm going to filter this table. Okay, and then on all tasks, I'm not going to filter. So this is the one I have here. Now, when I go back to my personal dashboard, that's the one that I have. I can change what view I'm looking at here in the front if I want to, but that's a whole nother different. But you can see the power here. So I hope this helps. I hope this gets you excited about it. Save this video when I upload this video to y'all, and just you can go through it, but it'll save you so much time. God bless y'all, and I hope this has helped you. In conclusion, so at the end of the day, the better you become at using your tools, I know I've talked to so many people about the three sets of things that you need to become an expert in. And certainly mindset is my most important, skill set is next, and tool set is the last. And understanding your tools and learning how to use them is very, very important in building your business and just about everything that you do in life. So what I'm leaving you here with is a YouTube channel by a gentleman. Thomas Frank Explains is the name of the channel. Thomas Frank is a gentleman. And it is dedicated. He's got tons and tons of videos on Notion. Everything I've learned in the last couple of days has been from watching just a plethora of his videos and taking the time to go through it and learn it. So it's up to you how detailed you want and how useful you want to make Notion, but at least even to get a basics, it will help you out immensely. So his YouTube channel URL is on the screen right now. I hope this helps. God bless you all and have an amazing, amazing month.